Today I'm going to show you how that you, as a prepper, for free, but how you can help to ensure that you can always have a fire for cooking or boiling water, or just to keep from freezing to death after SHTF, right after the channel intro. Welcome to this channel. This channel is all about learning how to prepare for when the dark times come, for when the grid goes down and when the stores are stripped bare. And today we're going to learn how you can make sure that you have plenty of free materials to be able to start a good fire for cooking and hygiene and warmth when SHTF hits. But before you think that this may be a silly video, I invite you to watch it to the end, because what I've learned from history, that the very subject of this video has caught many people off guard in the past, and they paid dearly for it. And in transparency, I will 100% admit this. Before I started prepping, while I did go camping a lot while I was younger, I didn't know squat about actually starting a campfire without using modern conveniences. I usually used charcoal lighter fluid and firewood that I had pre-bought and brought with me to the campsite to make my fires with. And then when my wife and I purchased our first house, it actually had a fireplace. Now granted, it's not a good old-fashioned wood-burning stove that would be most ideal for off-grid living, but at least it provides a way to heat the home should the grid go down and our gas and electricity get shut off and it's freezing outside. And we can get our living room up to 77 degrees Fahrenheit during the dead of winter with that fireplace. So anyways, when we first moved in and wanted to use this fireplace that we had no experience with, we had no idea of how to really start fires in it. So when we first started using the fireplace, I'd buy those little fireplace starter logs that are fairly easy to light and are designed to burn slowly so they catch your logs on fire. But that kept bugging me. Being the newer prepper that I was at the time, I still knew that my method to start a fire wasn't actually off-grid. And I knew that I needed to step up my game on being able to start a fire without using store-bought things. So then I just simply watched videos that dealt with fire making, and I quickly learned, as many of you have probably already learned, that starting a successful off-grid fire required a source of fire, such as a cigarette lighter or a ferro rod or something else like that, and then also having smaller and more easily burnable items such as tinder or paper that will be easily caught on fire by your lighter or your ferro rod. Then also having smaller dried sticks that will easily catch fire from the burning tinder, but then also burn long enough that they will catch your larger logs on fire. So then I thought to myself, why am I buying fireplace starters when I have all of this free stuff around me that I can collect for free and also stockpile for future use? And that's what this video is pretty much about, to give newer preppers an idea of how they can, for free, ensure that they have decent fires for warmth and cooking should the grid suddenly go down. So now what I will do is, instead of throwing my dryer lint away, I just save it in a jar in my laundry room. And I use that as my first step in starting a fire without using store-bought liquid fuel. And instead of shredding all my old papers and bills and receipts or just throwing them away, I now save those in a box, and I use that discarded paper as the second step of starting the fire. And then I just simply collect all the little limbs and sticks that fall out of the trees and onto the ground around my house for the third step in starting fires. But I just simply throw those sticks into a recycled trash can that I keep under my porch, which is covered by an eave so that it keeps them dry. And then I always try to keep several ricks of firewood ready to go at all times. That way if the grid goes down suddenly, then I will have plenty of firewood on hand. Now currently I have 3 firewood racks that I keep rotated and pretty full. But in the near future I want to up that number to 5 or 6 racks to help ensure that I have a good supply of firewood should the grid go down. And before we go any further, an anonymous poll should be appearing in the upper right hand corner of the screen just about now. And please take that poll and give me some constructive criticism. What do you dislike most about my videos? Is it my horrible grammar, my face mask, or the Patreon and website pop-ups? Or do you think my videos are totally fine? Or if there's something else, just comment below with it. But please take that poll or comment so I know how to make the videos more enjoyable for you all. Now, to start a fire, I will simply grab a small piece of the dryer lint, then light it, then let the dryer lint catch the paper on fire, which then catches the sticks and twigs on fire, which then catches the larger logs on fire, which then gives you a larger fire that you can actually cook with or keep warm by. Now, while this may seem like a silly video to some of you more experienced outdoors people or experienced preppers, please remember that there are a lot of newer preppers out there that are scouring the internet so that they can learn more about prepping and being prepared for an off-grid lifestyle. And for me, here's the big reason why I collect and stockpile as many free fire starting materials as possible while still not letting my home turn into a hoarder's house. In past history, when an area has experienced war or some other disaster that knocked out their gas or electricity in which they used to heat their homes and cook their food, as soon as that cold winter hit, people in that area would strip clean anything that could be burned. The local libraries would be ransacked so books could be burned, every tree in public areas would be cut down for firewood, etc. So basically, anything that could be used to burn in a fire would disappear quickly. So that's why I think it's very important for preppers, especially preppers who live in cities or suburbs, to put this stuff back now while it's plentiful, and especially since you can do it for free. And it goes without saying, having a fire of any kind after SHTF is something that you will want to weigh depending on the situation that you're in. If you're by yourself and bugging out in a dangerous area, then having a fire may not be safe to do. But if you're in a community of like-minded people, then having fires to cook with or for warmth may be perfectly safe. And one other thing that I'd like to warn about, anytime that you stockpile paper and sticks, you're obviously making a potential tinderbox in or around your home. So in the unfortunate circumstance that your house catches on fire, stockpiling that stuff may cause that fire to spread quicker. And I know that this video subject won't work for everyone, unfortunately. Some people viewing this video may live in an apartment in the middle of a concrete jungle. But for you folks that live in the suburbs or elsewhere, this is just something for you to consider, something to think about. And now I want to hear from the rest of you experienced preppers. Well, you can do things like add petroleum jelly to cotton balls, or stuff dryer lint into empty toilet paper rolls and then pour wax into them, or soak leaves or old newspapers and then make homemade fire logs out of them. Please comment below with some of your favorite fire starting techniques that you plan to use after the grid goes down, whether they're homemade or store-bought prepper gear. And after the grid goes down, those little packets of yeast for bread making will disappear off of the store shelves. And yeast doesn't have a very long shelf life either, making it difficult to store into your long-term storage food preps. So to see a video that shows how a prepper can easily make their own wild yeast in order to make bread after SHTF, then click on the video that should be appearing in the upper right-hand corner of the screen just about now to learn more about that. And after SHTF, your prepper food will grow boring after a while. And you're also going to need extra nutrients to fight off disease. So to see a video on how you can easily get these extra nutrients and also add extra flavor to your prepper food that you have stockpiled, then click on the video that should be appearing on the right side of the screen just about now to learn more about this very important prepper skill. Anyways, folks, if you made it this far, hey, thank you very much for watching, and I pray that you have a good night.